You guys, we're here. Hello, and welcome back to my journey to growing my Substack from $0 to over $96,000 in annual recurring revenue per year. And this is a year two update. And if you're watching this and wondering, Amy, did you just take down this entire series, disappear for 7 months, and now you're back? The answer is yes. And I will talk about that and more. And when I started this journey, I thought that $96,000 a year coming from revenue from paid newsletter on Substack. I'm like, that's insane. Like, am I really sure that I want to put this goal out there? But as a spoiler alert, especially if you're new to this video series, it's going well. And I recently got my second bestseller badge, and I just crossed thousands of paid subscribers as of this month, July 2025. So very exciting. But if you had watched some of my past updates, you know that last year I have been traveling the world, writing, doing memoir ghostwriting for my freelance memoir ghostwriting business in places like Vienna and Canada, Paris, and just kind of traveling and also just enjoying these places. And so last year I had my 30th birthday in Cappadocia, and we spent this beautiful month in Madeira, Portugal, which highly recommend. I have travel guides on my website for all of these places. But now you may notice background is a little bit different, and I am recording from my new home here in San Francisco, California. It's very beautiful here. Luckily, even like the fog is breaking up today. And while I have hung up my digital nomad cap, I'm still traveling. I'm literally hopping on a plane flight in like a few hours. And so, but I love my new home. I think Northern California is really gorgeous. But let's talk about why I disappeared. So I took down this entire series and basically removed everything off of YouTube and decided to not talk about growing my Substack. And there's a few reasons that I did this. First of all, I was unsure if sharing numbers was going to be helpful. And I was wondering, oh, I'm a really specific type of Substack. Like, I'm not sure if this is going to be helpful for other people who are doing their own Substacks. What I didn't realize is that when I was getting started on Substack and what kept me going, and when I was also getting started, 10 years ago as a freelance writer, the thing that kept me going is seeing success stories, even if they weren't in my niche. Like, I remember following travel writers who would post their income and being so inspired by that and so inspired by that transparency and that bravery. And every stage of my journey, I've looked up to people to see what's possible. And I felt a little bit of imposter syndrome, and I was unsure if I could be that role model for other people. I thought maybe my Substack's too niche or too specific. And so that was one reason. The next reason is that I was writing and marketing an entire book, The Ash Trials, which is my debut romantasy novel. It's actually my debut novel because my first fiction book that I published is called The Nomad Detective, and that's a short story series. As you can tell, this was quite a book project. It's very long. I am so floored by the positive reactions that I got from this book after spending like no time marketing on this. I spent like a week, 2 weeks marketing this, and it has just gotten so much more attention than I could have ever imagined. And I just want to say thank you if you bought a book and if you enjoyed it, like, and left a nice review or just reached out to me, like, thank you. Like, this was unexpected. And it took quite a bit of time, it took about 6 months. So my last update was in December of last year, 2024, and for this Substack, and that's basically when I was really in the thick of this. And so I just kind of got consumed by, working on the book because it's, hard to do. And then I also, was lucky to have a lot of client work that just completely just like snowballed and completely just like took me out. And I was just like, I'm gonna go do that now. And so that also allowed me to hit seven figures in my freelance ghostwriting business. And I just kind of like was like, all right, this is what I'm doing now. And but the thing that I think that I want to be really real with you about is that I took down this series and stopped sharing my monthly updates on how I was growing my Substack because I was also afraid of sharing my success. And I was afraid of what the reaction would be. Because when you're starting and you're growing that Substack from zero, and like you set a big audacious goal and be like, yeah, I've made like $100 on Substack. I have just like, one paid subscriber, but I'm loving it out here. Like, it's energy that is like easy to relate to because we all know what it's like to be at the start of a project, like just be like, I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited to write for my audience. I'm excited to just like try things, see what works, see what doesn't. So that's kind of like the vibe that I was in when I was beginning. But then when things really started to take off, I had a little bit of like imposter syndrome, a little bit of fear. I'm like, if I share this information, kind of share like the behind the scenes of like how I'm hitting my goals, like what kind of reaction will I get? And I'm disappointed in myself for that reaction because I think that what I have really honored is like, I've been really grateful for people sharing their numbers and their journey and their transparency because it's helped me rewire my brain about what's possible. And so, not everybody has to share all of their numbers and everything, but I do think that it does help in the creative fields when we're like, well, what's possible? And even if you're working on a different Substack or different niche, or you're focusing on personal essays or I started an interview series as part of my Substack, which I'll talk about in a minute, where I've been interviewing a lot of other Substack bestsellers who are in completely different niches than me about how they grew their Substack or how they made writing their job. And what I found is that in every specific use case, every specific person had something that I can learn from. And and that kind of made me realize like, oh, I'm not practicing what I preach by not being transparent. And I want to share this stuff because I'm also proud of being able to grow this community. I'm being proud of offering this unique value. And I'm just really grateful and excited. So some of the things that I have added to my Substack has been the job board for writers. Plus, I've added live Zoom classes showing how to make writing your job. The guest stack, which I was talking about with the interview series. We also commission personal essays and poetry from our readers at $1 per word, and about usually around 500 words for the length for the essays. And so those pitch calls are on the writing job board as well. And we are about to launch a mastermind group, which I'll share with you. Kind of here's everything that you get. So for the paid tier on Substack right now, there's so many publications that have paid tiers that are like $25 a month, or there are publications that don't even allow you to sign up monthly and they only allow you to subscribe annually. So I wanted to see how much value that we can put into $8 a month. So we have the writing job board that currently comes out 2 times a week. We have featured jobs, which are people that come directly to the writing job board or directly to me. Often I'm hopping on calls with them and, talking through and kind of doing a phone screen. And then we post these jobs for our community for those clients to find somebody from our community to hire. So these are the things that people love the most. And then we also have actionable advice about how to make writing your job. We have those class stack classes that I mentioned where currently I'm teaching you how to have a portfolio that really attracts your dream clients and higher paying projects. How to, there's so much on class stack. And even after I make this video, there's going to be more because the archives are growing and I'm bringing on some really great guest instructors to help teach some really cool classes I think you're going to be excited for. And then we have the guest stack archives. So access to all of the archives with guest stack for all of those really great interviews with the Substack bestsellers and other amazing writers that I mentioned, surprise gifts that I have planned for you, and I'm excited for you to check out some of those. And then our subscriber chat, where I have hired an entire team of newsletter editor curators to scrape LinkedIn, Twitter, Blue Sky, Indeed, every single job site that you know of and don't. And on a daily basis, 6 days a week, we drop those jobs in the paid subscriber chat. Often we're finding them right when they get posted so that you can just jump in there and apply. And yes, some of these jobs on the writing job board you can find on LinkedIn yourself, but I literally hired an entire team of freelancers, of really amazing like newsletter editor curators to find these jobs and unearth these jobs because they're, not just listed in the job section. They're also, somebody just posts them to their feed. A lot of like the things that we're doing right now is tracking different editors for different publications and what they're posting when. And we've built an entire pitch database as well, which we have added to the writing job board. So you can definitely do this all yourself. It will just take you a lot of hours. And so if you think that your time is worth $8 a month to be able to get access to all of these things, then I think it's a pretty good deal. $8 for the hours that you would spend each week finding all of these job opportunities, these pitch calls, these contests, these residencies, these grants, just all of that. If you think $8 is, worth like taking back those hours of your time and getting those things delivered to your inbox, great. If you don't, all good. And then this week we are launching a founding member tier. It's $550 a year because we really want to have the writers who are ready to invest in their career to jump onto this next stage. It's not going to be for everybody. It's going to be for the people who really want to connect with other writers through our quarterly mastermind calls. So you get everything that's in the paid tier as well as a quarterly mastermind call. So this will be a group with other awesome writers and myself. And it's not going to be a coaching group. It's going to be more of an accountability group. It's going to be a place to find support. We're really excited about these. I think that these are going to be kind of more of that one-on-one, like kind of small group settings where we're going to be able to foster a really cool environment for thinking about what does it take to grow your career as a writer without gatekeepers and in both the freelance space as well as the creative spaces. So I think that this is going to be so exciting and I'm really excited for them to begin soon, very soon. And then also founding members sponsor a writer in need. And so we have a scholarship application on our Substack where writers who can't afford an annual paid subscription can submit for a scholarship. And every time we get a new founding member, we cover those subscriptions. And then founding members also get a 24-hour head start on feature jobs. And so those feature jobs are often the clients that come directly to the job board to post a job and hire from the job board. So if you think that all of these things seem pretty attractive, they definitely have been for a lot of people and a lot of writers. We recently passed 10,000 total subscribers and over 1,000 paid subscribers, which has been a huge milestone. But the thing that I want to draw attention to is not just here, which I like to call the hockey stick. I was talking about the hockey stick here. And my partner Kyle and I would talk about like the Substack because I spent a lot of time on the Substack building up what would eventually become all of this. And I told him, I'm like, I know that I'm going to figure out exactly the combination of the things that people want from this Substack and from Make Writing Your Job. I'm going to figure it out. And until then, I'm just waiting for that hockey stick. I'm waiting for that moment that I find what they call in tech that product market fit, where I find the thing that people are excited to pay for that brings a lot of value to their life. Like until I find that, I'm just going to keep on plugging away. And I was plugging away for a long time, as you can see, to the point where I'm like, am I crazy? And you can see in some of the videos where I talk about the trough of sorrow, where I talk about how, if you go back through this series, I've learned a lot and the evolution of the Substack was clear along the way. But it took time for me to figure it out and to figure out how to make use of the resources that I have to help people. And when I figured it out, it just went like to the moon. And currently I'm sitting at 1,040 paid subscribers, 88,000 in annual recurring revenue. And, it's just been crazy to see these goals and especially having a great conversion rate, things like that. And then the open rate is pretty solid. It kind of stays in the 30% range. Um, this is crazy. I'm saying these numbers to you, but it's like it doesn't fully registering to me, but I know it's working. Providing a unique value that only I can is what's working because I have access to people who want to hire writers because I've built my own pipelines as a seven-figure memoir ghostwriter, how people can find me. And so I know that I can provide a unique value in a way that other job boards on Substack, other, different kind of publications in this space can't. And then I'm also able to be open and authentic with my community without my fear of losing subscribers. And this is the big thing. And this is kind of what has also prompted putting the series back up and continuing the series and doing this monthly again, is because I have had to, and I'm no stranger to internet haters. I'm just not. Listen, if you're on the internet, there are haters who want to hate on you for existing. And that's something that I have come to realize that I don't want the minority of voices to silence the kinds of things that I want to talk about in good faith with my community in order to help people. Because that's my mission is to help people make writing their job. That's why I named my publication that. And why I shifted the name to that. And so I've understood this and this is actually applied to a lot of things that I've done lately, which I will talk about in another video because we're going to talk about quite a bit in every month, and I'm going to tackle a lot of the things that have changed with my publication. So, what you'll notice is that I show up in this publication with a lot less fear because I know that I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to help you make writing your job and help you avoid some of the mistakes that I've made and try to pull back the curtain on the things that I'm seeing are working for me in my business that are really improving my work. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Is just trying to be as transparent and honest as possible. And I know that I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Like I'm, that's not possible. And nor do I want to be everybody's cup of tea because not everybody's my cup of tea. And so I'm understanding a little bit more that I need to speak authentically and transparently about things. So, in the face of criticism. And if you have criticism, feel free to drop it in the comments. It's great for the algorithm. I say that jokingly, of course, because I'm not here to make rage bait content. I'm here to deliver unique value, show you what I'm up to, and to kind of just like let go of the people who disagree with me and to give them a place to argue if they'd like, or leave praise. That's good too. The other thing that's worked is being more data driven. I really have to credit my partner Kyle, who's helped me grow the Substack because let me be clear. This has been crazy, and I have not done this alone. I have an entire team that I've hired of newsletter editor curators. I have a great designer who's helped redo the designs of the website of the Substack. I've had a lot of help, and my partner Kyle has been instrumental in helping to manage all of the tasks that come with growing. And I will be doing a Sunday post for my paid subscribers on what it takes to manage a best-selling Substack with the kind of perks that I offer. So that'll be coming this Sunday. I'll drop the link in the description when it's live. But being data driven has really been helpful. And I'll also break this down in future newsletters and maybe also future videos about what that means because as creatives is it feels a little alien to be data driven. And so we're going to talk about that. And then like I mentioned, hiring a team to help. It's not just me. I am reinvesting a lot of like what I am making from the Substack. And then an important thing to notice like if you're on Substack, then you'll know that, oops. If you're on Substack, then you know that this number is not your take home. Substack takes a percentage of this, I think 10%. Stripe takes fees. And then for me, I also pay out my team from that as well. And then there's other expenses that come up with running the Substack as well. So I'm reinvesting into the Substack and into my community through things like paid pitch calls because I really believe that the rising tide lifts all boats and I want to be there to kind of help lift all boats and to be able to reinvest and reallocate resources to help. So that's kind of what's up, and that's also why I drop the cost of all my books to basically like 99 cents or at cost so that people who want to read my book on freelance writing or, any book of mine can get it either for free with a Kindle Unlimited subscription or at cost. So I'm trying to kind of figure out where I can give more away for free. I'm also having a freelancing 101 class for my free subscribers as well as my paid subscribers. And so that is happening on July 20th. And so you can either go to the Substack and watch the replay if that's already happened, or go onto the Substack and subscribe for that when it comes out. So, all of that to say, I have built a lot of systems. I'm learning how to really balance giving a lot of stuff away for free and what stuff belongs behind the paywall. So, that is something that I have been playing with a lot of like understanding how to value my time and my effort that I put into the Substack and how to value the investments that I'm making into growing this community and taking care of it, but also getting some value out of the business as well and valuing my time. And that's something that I teach in Six Figure Freelance Writer, my book, that I think it's really important that, especially as women, we value our time. We value the energy and the effort that we bring in because as women, it's very easy to have that imposter syndrome or think, oh, I don't deserve this. And that's something that you have to undo in order to become a seven-figure writer, in order to grow on anywhere. And so the things I want to improve on, better systems. I know I just said I have systems, but they could be better. More sanity. And I want to continue to help writers through every stage of their freelance writing journey. And so that's why we have Freelancing 101 here. And then the one actionable tip that I have for you in this video is for the love of God or whatever you believe in, enable in-app purchases. And so if people are on your phone or on their phones and they're on your Substack, they cannot sign up for a paid subscription without you enabling this. And this was not enabled for me. So go and check this box and you can also adjust the pricing of in-apps because there's like different cost structures with if people pay through their app. But I keep my subscription cost the same across everywhere. So do this. This has like helped immensely. I'm going to talk about so much more that I've done from the welcome email edits to just so many different changes that I've made to the Substack that have allowed me to hit that hockey stick, but it's not going to fit in this video. So just letting you know. But I want to know, how is your Substack journey going? So let me know in the comments. And if you'd like, you can subscribe to Make Writing Your Job and join our community and get a lot of those different perks that I've mentioned. And I'm going to see you next month because, as I've said in this video, I have learned so much in the last 7 months, not just about how to write books and not lose your sanity. But I'm currently working on a new book, and I'm going to leave that link in the description if you want to get it for free and be a beta reader. But I've learned so much about setting big, audacious goals because if you'll remember, my goal when I started this series 2 years ago was to hit $96,000 in annual recurring revenue. And may even hit that this month, if not maybe next month. And I think that that just goes to show if you set a big goal, you'll probably hit it. You just have to show up consistently. And the thing that I am so grateful for is like, ultimately, this journey, it's not just about the money, it's about believing that you can do something. It's about learning how to invest in building a community. It's about being able to be responsive to what an audience needs from you and is asking for you, and also try to intuit what they need and give them what they don't know what they need yet, if that makes sense. And so I've learned so much as a writer, as an entrepreneur, and I'm excited to see you in the next month's video because I think that there's so many concepts about, sales and marketing that are complex and boring, but when you break it down and simplify it and kind of put it more of like in a storyteller format, it becomes a lot more thoughtful. And so I'm excited to share those frameworks with you in my next video. So would love to hear from you. Drop in the comments below what you're working on Substack. Drop your Substack link if you have it. Would love to hear from you about what you're up to, and have a great July. And thank you for being here.